Hey guys, guess who's back? I decided to come back to this podcast after being busy, and we have a lot to talk about. But I'm here with one of my best friends, and we have a very interesting relationship. We'll talk about all this throughout this podcast. But her name is Siani Aubrey. This is her artist name. Aubrey?
Yes.
Aubrey? Okay. But introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi guys. It's your girl Siani Aubrey. From Jersey, so I'm representing Jersey today. And yeah, we're gonna talk about some great stuff today. We're gonna get into some juicy stuff.
Yeah, juicy stuff and a whole bunch of interesting backstory and just a mess. And we have to catch up on a whole bunch of stuff. But we're just gonna take a short break and then I'll be right back. Okay, guys, we're back. So, we're going to start off with what we usually talk about, which is our daily wavelengths. This is a portion of the podcast where we talk about what we've been listening to lately. And then there's also a portion called Throwback, where we talk about like some artists that are like older or even like early 2000s stuff that we're still listening to today. So, what have you been listening to?
Recently, it's really hard to answer that because a lot of the stuff on the radio right now is like, my mom would call boopity bip. But definitely her.
I love her.
She's definitely
I love her.
But I feel like I'm kind of late with that because I'm like just starting to listen to her stuff. Daniel Caesar, he's awesome.
Oh, Daniel Caesar.
His whole album is dope. Kendrick Lamar. And who else? That's pretty much SZA. I listen to SZA stuff. So those would be the top four. I think four or three.
Yeah. I think.
What about you?
It's a lot. You know, I listen to every freaking thing in the world, so it's hard for me to compile it. So, recently Normani released 2 songs with Calvin Harris, so I've been listening to those back to back. It's called Checklist and then Slow Down. Checklist is it's featuring WizKid, so it's like Afrobeat stuff. It's really fun. I recently saw her do the title performance for Brooklyn. She did amazing.
Is she the one that was dancing right
Yeah.
now? Oh,
Yes, was killing it. And then I don't know if you know Raven Lene. Oh, she's great. You would love her. She has it's like an 80s vibe, but current. So I think you really like it, and just the tone quality of her voice and how she manipulates it, with some of the ad libs she puts in is really amazing. It's an EP. It's called Crush. Actually, let me make sure it's the right title before I can say that. Hold on, let me check Spotify real quick.
What's her name again?
Raven Lene. It's RAVYN.
Definitely listen to her.
Yeah. And then I've been listening. I just started listening to Khalid's. Yeah, Khalid's new it's an album, right? Yeah, it's an album. I think it's an album. Sun City. I've been listening to a few songs on that. I need to go through the whole thing before I can really give a good review on it. But from what I've heard, it sounds good. His first album, American Teen, was really cohesive. So from what I'm hearing so far, it seems like it's a very cohesive album as well. So I really respect that, especially because albums today aren't really albums anymore. It's pretty much just singles, and whatever is hot is gonna be what people buy. But what else? It's been a while, guys, so give me a second. Oh, and Ella May's new album. Have you been listening to?
I haven't listened to. Her 2 singles are dope, but I haven't listened to her new album.
Yeah, because Trip is My Life.
Yes.
Such a great song. I know some people don't like. I have mixed feelings with the collaboration between her and Chris Brown. It's called Whatchamacallit.
I don't think I heard that.
It's the latest single that she released with him. But it hasn't got I have mixed feelings on it because I like it just because it's like two people that I love, but then it's like the lyrical content. Like I like how they're like singing it, the lyrical content, but I feel like they could have did more, or it could have just been like a different setting or just like a different vibe for the song. I felt like it was a little bit too up tempo, and if they did it like more of like a ballad type of feel, it would have been better. That's just my opinion. But one of my favorite songs from this is it's a bonus track, but it's like an older track from her EPs. It's called Naked. It's a really great song. And then the song Gut Feeling with her and with Alame and her. It's a really good song. Good Bad is another good song off this album as well. But and then of course I had to talk about like one of my main like favorite female artists, Mariah Carey. So she finally released a new single. So The Distance.
Me and Mariah got beef.
Okay.
But she, yeah.
The Distance is my life. So it's featuring her and Ty Dolla $ign. And it really sounds really good. It gives you like old. I'm trying to think of this. When you got to go through like the Rolodex of all the stuff you listen to, but it's like it's current, but it's like very old school. It's like old Mariah stuff. I'm trying to think of like the specific song it reminds me of, because it's like a specific vibe. It has like a breakdown, like the song "Breakdown" by her, breakdown vibe. It's very spacey. It's like very spacey, but like atmospheric, just how it sounds with the instruments and like very string heavy. Until the 808s come and like give it a little bit more life. But that's really it. That's a lot, but it's it. So have you been listening to any like throwback stuff? Like,
yeah, I always listen to throwbacks.
Yeah.
I actually go on a Mary J. Blige kick. Like,
I love it. I love Mary.
She made my feelings. But definitely Mary J. Blige. Erykah Badu, that's my girl.
I love Erykah Badu.
I've listened to her 3 times already. So every time was amazing.
I still need to go to an Erykah Badu concert. I probably would faint. I don't think I would be able to go
She just has that vibe. Like, it's just the atmosphere. It was a good time. Like, you know you're gonna go and have a good time when you listen.
Exactly.
Who else? India Irie. She's my favorite. She's like my inspiration, but she just started doing a podcast. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, and it's dope. It's on. I listen to it on iTunes, I think. But
I'm sure it's probably everywhere now too. Probably because most of.
I hope so. And like she's been like really like going into depth about like why she wrote old songs and like, new songs that she wrote.
That's
so
interesting.
It's like, kind of been getting me back into like, oh my gosh, like I missed this song, or you know.
Yeah.
Who else? Jay-Z's not really. Yeah, you consider him like old school, right? Not really.
I guess. He's kind of. I don't know.
Let me think. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I'll be listening to Pandora.
Literally. You listen to Pandora. I haven't listened to Pandora in forever. Once I started using Spotify, I stopped.
See, I can't get into Spotify because I forgot why. I think it's because when you do like your list, you can't skip. Can you skip?
You have to be premium to skip.
Yeah, so like, I gotta listen to whatever you play. Like,
yeah. Well, you can skip, but it's like a set. It's like a set.
Like a limit, right?
Yeah, it's like a limit. So.
I guess that's kind of like Pandora.
Yeah.
But so I don't really like. You know, I'm in music, but I don't really have a lot of music downloaded to my phone.
Yeah.
But I listen to everything, like everything you can think of, from gospel to country. You know, like I just listen to everything. So, But that would be my old school people that I listen to.
Yeah. Mine's is old school Mary J. Blige.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can never go wrong with Mary J. Blige old school. Like, what's the
Layla
fourth?
Hathaway.
Oh, Layla Hathaway is my life. She's disrespectful vocally, just disrespectful. Who else am I listening? Oh, Shaka Khan. Through the Fire specifically because I'm learning that song. Trying to figure that song out.
It's a shower song.
Yeah, it really is. Some old school Brandy. Some Brian McKnight. That's pretty much.
I started listening.
Pretty much.
I was listening to Vivian Green the other day too, and I didn't know she had so many like those
great songs.
The one I think of is of course, Roller Coaster.
Yeah.
She got some hits. She definitely does.
Yeah. Oh, and then TLC. That's yeah. So, that's what I've been like. Some throwbacks. There's a lot more, but those are just the ones coming to mind. Yeah. But that's over, guys. So we're gonna get into more of the interview and talk about this lady's career that she's out here starting. She's out here touring and having shows and has a whole album out and all this extra stuff. I still remember Siani being in a musical together for high school.
I was thinking 7 years ago I was like a freshman.
Yeah,
like that's crazy.
Exactly. It doesn't make any sense. We both feel old. Don't make me remind me. But just because I just want to be real and honest. So, because now I'm stepping into the same mode as you are. Because now I'm trying to get this album, like this EP, finished and stuff like that. So, what's going on is that there's a capstone project that I have to do for school. So I decided to finally not be shy and open my voice and not be annoying.
Y'all get on him, because
she's one of those people that will always be like, why don't you just sing? Why don't you just dance? Why don't you just stop acting like you're shy? Because we know you're not. And this is so annoying. But I'm going through that process now of writing, and it's like killing me. So just tell us, like, start off with like how the whole vision for the album came along.
Well, so I'm gonna go back a little bit because I didn't plan on doing the album before I did it. Like, I was just planning on doing before I even decided to get into the studio, my mom was basically just like, I couldn't find a job because I was coming from college, and I went to the American Musical and Dramatics Academy, for all the guys who don't know, for musical theater. So that was my dream. Like, I had no thoughts of doing an album or, being an independent artist. But Broadway was, like, my thing. And then, I hit this, like, wall where I was just, like, wasn't doing anything. I didn't want to get a 9-to-5 because I felt like I wanted to still do music. I felt like if I went away from doing music or anything or even acting, that I would just, like, you won't get back into it. It'll be years going by and you just won't get back into it. So I was just like, Mom, like, I really want to do music. I was like, I started writing in school when I wasn't supposed to. I was supposed to be doing work, but I was writing music.
Exactly.
And I was like, I think I can do this. And my mom was just like, all right, Siani, just, she was like, if you're going to do it, you're going to have to write more than one song. Because I only had, like, one song that I was, like, pressing. And she was like, you're going to have to write more than one song. So I was like, all right. So then I wrote 2 more songs. And I was like, all right, Mom, I'm ready to get in the studio.
I'm dead.
So she was like, all right. And she actually liked my songs. Like, my mom's really honest. Brutally honest, actually.
We know.
She'll hurt my feelings.
We both know that.
Right. So she was like, all right, like, you actually put the work in. So I had my uncle, my godfather, but my uncle, he's a nurse, but he still does, sorry. But he does beats, he produces. So I would go all the way to his house in Maryland, record, do this whole process, and it would take him like 2 weeks to get me the song back. So it was like a whole we were doing this like the whole summer. And yeah, of 2016, just to give you a timeline. So we were doing this like for 3 songs. It took like the whole summer to do, and I was just so excited. And I was like, all right, now I'm ready to go out and do like open mics and get myself out there. But I realized, like, I can't just keep singing 3 songs over and over again. Like, that's just doing too much. So fast forward, it's crazy how it happened because I always go to my grandma's house. My family's really tight. And my aunt, she got this new phone. I think it was like the new Galaxy. And you can FaceTime on there and do something. And she kept butt dialing my uncle. Like FaceTiming him. And but he's a saxophone player. So he answered the phone, and they were just catching up and everything. And she was like, Siani, she's starting to do music. And
sounds like divine intervention right there.
Yeah, right. So I was like, you don't have to tell him that. Like, I'm like,
extra.
Tell him that, like, But she was like, yeah, I'm gonna send you some videos of her performing at open mics, and And so he was like, yeah, I have this producer that I work with, and I can set them up. Just send me the videos, I can send it to him. So he ended up looking at the video. He was actually, I don't know what day. I want to say it was like a Thursday. He was seeing the guy Sunday. So he was going to show him at church, and he ended up showing the guy. The guy asked for my number. Then that Sunday, he called me and he was like, well, can you come and, come to the studio? So I was like, sure, but like, I was kind of upset because I had just took my hair out. So I had to like do my hair over that day and get ready and then drive all the way to Philly to go meet him.
Okay.
So
at least it was in Philly and not all the way across the world.
Right. So I meet him. His name is Rick Williams, and he's a really dope producer. He's been on tour with Genuine. He's worked with Lauryn Hill. Like, he's worked with so many big people. And I was just like really like
shocked that he would want to work with you.
I was like, okay. So I showed him my music. He loved it, and he was just like, all right, when can we work? So I was like, today. We can work right now. But anyway, long story short, I started working with him. We did 2 singles together. One, which is not on the album, called Ooh. It was like a remix to Ooh. Is it called Ooh by Young and May? Yeah. Ooh by Young and May. Wait. Yeah.
Yeah. I was waiting too. I was like, wait.
I was trying to name it like the same, but yeah, I did like a remix to that. And then I did Their Diary, which is on my album.
Which I love.
Thank you. So we did that a year before I even thought about doing a whole album. So fast forward to 2017 summer. Rick called me and he was just like, I have an opportunity for you to go overseas, do a tour. And, it's a really great opportunity, even if you don't get in, just go and audition. So I ended up going to do that.
Where do you, can you elaborate on like where the tour was going to take you? Like, was it like a European tour or?
It was Australia. It was, I forgot the places. It was like Australia. I can't think. It was 4 places that we were going to go, but we were going to start like in of course the U.S. We were going to start here, like go to like Virginia, Atlanta, all those different places. I can't even hold you. I can't even remember the 4 places. Because it was such a bad experience. I think I mentally, subconsciously blocked it out, to be honest. But
why was it a bad experience?
Well, I'll tell you. So anyway, I got in. I did the audition. They loved it, and basically, it was all about a contract. It was a lot of all talk. They were just like, oh, all you need is your passport, right? You just, I'm not going to name their names, but it was like, they were just feeding you like so much like light. And at the end of the day, I wasted a whole summer basically creating content, just wasting time. Like, it was an hour away from my house, so I was traveling there in the middle of the night, in the studio until 2-3 in the morning. And for us to just be kind of like performing for them. And like, it was no movement. It was no like, oh, not even a show. So, a lot of people left before me, but then I was like, I'm leaving. Like, I'm not wasting my time. And not only that, I was supposed to be going to Rutgers.
Mm-hmm.
So all I had to do, I was at the point where I just had to pick my classes, and I didn't because I was like, I'm going on tour, like
exactly.
school who, like what? So, so that experience for me, it kind of like broke me down because I was just like, like if people in the industry are gonna like do like feed you dreams, like I honestly don't want to do it. Like I was just like, I wasted a whole summer. Like I just could not get over that. I was like, wow. Like, I was so excited. Like, a tour overseas, like, I told everybody. And it was so embarrassing to just be like, oh, I'm not going no more. Like, I don't know what happened. So, after that, I was really discouraged. Like, I was really depressed, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was just like, I don't want to do music no more. I just, I just felt like I wasted my time. And I felt like, I just felt like people were just going to do that to me constantly. And I was like, and I had to realize, even if that was the case, I have to suck it up. Like, I have to, this is what the industry is. Like, you're going to go through ups, you're going to go through downs. But anyway, so after that, I talked to my producer and I was just like, I don't know what to do. Like, I wrote all these songs and like, I don't know what to do. He was like, Siani, do an album. I was like, but I don't have, like, and at the point, I was really trying to build my fan base. I was really trying to just get out there, but I was like, I don't have a fan base to, like, do an album. Who am I going to share it with, my family and friends? Like, he was like, yes. Like, duh. So I was like, okay. Like, at first, I was really hesitant, but then he was like, Siani, I already had, like, 5 good songs along with your diary. He was like, you don't even have to make it an extra long album. Just make it, like, my album is 11 songs. He's like, just do 10 songs. Like, you really don't have, you just need a body of work that people can be like, oh, you have music? Let me go look at it. Where can I find it? So that's pretty much that's how it started. So September of last year, 2017, I started the album, started recording. It took 7 months. The writing process was pretty much, I pretty much talked about, the hurt. It's really general. I didn't really go into depth of, like, my life and anything in this album because it was just me starting out. And I went in blinded, kind of. Like, now, looking back, I wish I would have wrote more about the situations that I was going through and all of that. But that's, of course, I can do that.
You can do the next.
But, so, like, I just was writing. Like, I was just grinding. I was just like, I need to... Like, after I got started, of course, I got excited. I was just like, all right, like, now I can do an album release party. Now I can...
Exactly.
I just started seeing all these opportunities, and I had support from my family. I just had mad support, and I was just like, this is the time for me to do it. Like, this is the time. Like, I felt like it. And not only that, another reason how I knew this was the time, I had so many people coming into my life. So, like, I didn't have a band before I did my album release. Album release was May 12th, and I had a whole band set up. It was Rick put it together, but it was like I had a bass player, I had a guitar player, piano player, and a drummer, and they were all set to, like, they listened to my music and they basically wanted to be involved for, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not paying them as much as they probably should be getting paid, but the fact that they wanted to grow with me, it was dope. I had dancers.
And that's a lot of money that could have been spent.
It was a lot of money that was spent. And the place was dope. Like, it was amazing. I kind of forgot the question. I'm rambling.
Well, you were still on the question, but it was just like the whole experience of how the album was created. So you're pretty much.
So that's pretty much it. It was just like, I just wanted to get music out. I wanted to, my writing process, I'm a storyteller, so a lot of the stuff that I write doesn't necessarily have to happen to me. I just write about anything. Like, I don't really have a topic when I go into a song. I kind of make up, I won't even show you because that sounds terrible, but like when I'll be in the car driving and I'll think of like a hook and I'll just record it while I'm driving. And then when I get home, I'll be like, okay, let me find a beat. Or have people send beats to me, and that's how I create my music. Exactly. It doesn't really have I'm not like, oh, let me write about love today. I'm feeling so in love. Let me just write my heart on this paper.
Okay.
But sometimes it happens like that. Like sometimes I'll just be really upset and I'm just like, that's just you. You ain't shit. But so yeah, like that's pretty much how it happened. It just everything was just, and it was stressful because I don't have money to go in the studio and record. So
exactly.
when I went in the studio, my songs had to be right. Like
exactly.
they had to be on point the first time. The first time. So that was stressful too because it was like I can't go, like when I record a song, that's the song that I'm putting on my album, like whether I like it or not.
Exactly.
So yeah, to answer your question, that's pretty much.
So going along with that, so you having those pitfalls and especially with the start of that whole opportunity that went south, do you feel like that had a contribution to how you named the album?
Definitely. Alchemy. Well, before I started going on my spiritual journey, I was really into like astrology and like just I was a weirdo. I was just like, if you told me like, oh, my birthday, I'm like, what's your sign? Or like, I have to see if we're compatible. Like I was really weird. So I was going through that phase of my life where I just felt like the stars, if they're not aligned, then I'm not centered and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of the people that I were looking up, like they kept using the word alchemy, and I'm like, what? I don't listen to these people. I don't even know what alchemy means. And I looked it up, and it was basically like manifesting what you want into your life. Just being like whatever that may be to you, but to me, I wanted success. I wanted happiness. I wanted fortune. I wanted just love. I wanted, anything like, anything that I could possibly have wanted. I wanted to manifest that into my life. And from there, the bridge to, I pictured like me walking on that path to what I wanted. And I didn't do the bridge to alchemy, because I wanted to be able to I picture myself throwing all like the negative things and the depression and anxiety and the self-hate, all of that over the bridge. Like I'm just forgetting about all of that and I'm walking into my destiny. So that's pretty much how the the title came.
Okay. That's interesting. That's a lot. But I understand because I'm in the process of trying to figure stuff out and just trying to figure out songs that make sense, figure out what I want to do.
And honestly, it just comes like I was so stressed on like picking titles, and like
that's been the hardest thing for me so far is picking titles for stuff.
It's in the song, like it's literally in the song, like. And my problem was I wanted to be creative, like. I kind of wanted my title is not to have anything to do with the song.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting into too.
Yeah, and it's like you really, it's literally in the song. Whether if you wanna go that route, talk about the meaning of the song. What does it mean to you, or like I don't know the circumstance, like anything. But it's really, I'm telling you, I went through that same thing, and I was just like, see, honey. It's really not that serious. Like, you're stressing over a title. You wrote a whole song.
Yeah.
You wrote a whole song. Just pick something that stood out. Like, so, yeah.
So, going on, as I said before, you're touring and doing a whole bunch of performances. And you have a performance coming up soon.
This Saturday, actually. Yes. November 3rd at the Wyndham Hotel in Mount Laurel. So, Derek, if you free,
wait, is it Saturday?
Saturday at 7:30.
Okay, because I don't have work, so I can possibly come. So I'm gonna try and come and see, because I have a whole bunch of work, girl. I have a whole bunch of bullshit with school, but I'm gonna try my best to try and come, because now I know. Because I was like, wait. Because I was trying to figure it out before you came. I was like, is there a performance like Saturday? Yes. Like, I don't know if I can actually make it, but.
Well, if not, it's definitely going to be future ones. But yes, this Saturday, the Wyndham Hotel in Mount Laurel. Come out, have fun. It's going to be some drinks. If you're not 21, you can still come. And it's just gonna be a great time. Like, this is my first time having a 2-hour set, so I'm kind of nervous because I never really sing 2 hours. I mean, I'm not singing 2 hours straight, but just for 2 hours.
Just having a 2-hour set period.
It's kind of nerve wracking, but I have some special guests. I don't know if you know Jay Davis.
Oh, I
he's
love
from the area in Jersey. So he's gonna be performing with me. And my background singer, I don't even like to call her a background singer because she's an amazing vocalist. But Latia Johnson, she's gonna be singing some amazing songs. So it's gonna be dope. It's really gonna be dope.
That's great. I hope I can make it. I feel like I just want to go, but so getting off of the album talk and all of that, since we got that squared away, but going into like our relationship, how we like met is a big complicated way, like literally, real youngins, like not even teenagers. I think by that time we just like either ended elementary school or we were just starting. We were going into middle school. So I met Siani because one of my best friends, Chemo, decided to just spring some girl on me and was like, "This is my new friend. Her name is Siani." And I was just like, "Okay, like, hi, Siani." And we just looking at each other all awkward, like, "Okay, so what are we supposed to do?" And then it was like a whole group of everybody, of like all the kids that you can think of from the neighborhood were in like one area just to play kickball. Like that's when kids actually played outside, which doesn't happen anymore. Yeah, like it's so weird seeing kids around this neighborhood and they're not even outside anymore. It's so weird. But yeah, we met, and then after that we went through a whole bunch of stuff together. Like,
that's an emotional
real roller coaster. Especially one moment where it was me, Siani, and Chemo. We literally got into a huge argument. I still laugh at it right now because it's like, why the fuck were we arguing? But it was, I don't even know how to. It was so stupid that I don't even remember what even started it. But all I remember is I'm coming with my band equipment. I'm walking off the damn bus. We're arguing still, getting off the bus. And then the bus is literally leaving while we're fucking arguing. And then
we were in someone's driveway.
Yeah, we were in somebody's driveway arguing. And then I feel like something happened and somehow my band bag with my damn clarinet fucking decided it wanted to fall and open up. And then I was like mad because that happened, so that even got me even more mad. So we were arguing about that, and then out of nowhere we just started crying. We started crying,
and then we were like
hugged up.
I love you.
Yes.
Like, what is wrong with us?
Literally, we're crying for at least 20 minutes. Then hugging each other for at least 20 minutes after that. And then I feel like, wasn't it raining or something? Like it was just about to rain or some weird shit. It was some weird shit that was going on. What? I don't know what we were on. We were having too much. I don't know what was going on. Like just horrible. And that's like one of the biggest moments of our relationship between just each other and then Chemo. And then at one point we both dated, which was hilarious to me still to this day. Cause I'm just like, cause I was even talking to my friends today. I was like, wait, I'm talking to like my best friend that just happens to be my ex-girlfriend. That's so weird.
What was that, like 7th grade?
I feel like it was 7th grade. Like, no, it was 8th grade.
8th grade?
Wait, no, it was 7th grade. It was like the end.
I got left back. So.
Oh yeah, you did. Oh yeah.
So it was like my 7th grade.
It was yeah. Yeah, it was. I forget. It was, and that was funny because
I mean, honestly, we just stayed best friends. We nothing really changed.
Yeah. And then I was like, Cause then it was like we're just like best friends. Like I don't even see it like a romantic thing. Like it was just like we would play around. Like I would just smack her on the butt all the time. Like it'll be like a whole thing around the neighborhood. Like people be like, why do you only smack her on her ass? I'm like, cause she has a fat ass. That's why I'm smacking her. And then people be like, but you guys are friends. And I'm like, okay, we can't be friends and smack each other. Like, so
yeah, it was a little weird.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know. We just pretty much stayed best friends.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I still laugh at it because I'm just like, that's really how our relationship was. Like, it literally.
I know we were young.
Yeah.
No concept
of relationship. No concept of like kissing. Because I was like.
Because
it was like, ew, right after this. Because it makes sense. I was just like, wait. Because I still remember when Kima was like, so Siani likes you. And I was like, wait, what? She likes me, but we're friends.
Right.
Like, I think she's supposed to like me. We're friends. I like her too. But, so I was confused about that. And then we stayed. And then we both were just like, one day, I forget if I texted you or if you texted me or something. But then we were like, but then I was like, so this just, I'd rather just be friends because this is not making any sense as a relationship. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, and I don't know if you know what you're doing. So we should probably just stay friends. So that's literally how the relationship ended, which is even just shows just how much of friends we really were because we could come to a cohesive. Yeah, we could literally. But that's funny. Then after that, cause you moved after that, right?
Yeah, I moved, but I still went to the same. I still went to the same.
Yeah, but then did I go? I don't think we. I feel like there was like a year or so in between that I just didn't see you.
Maybe because you went to high school.
Oh yeah.
So that's probably why.
Yeah, because I went to high school for like a year ahead of you. Because I was a year ahead of you. So I didn't see her for like a whole year, and then like periodically I still wouldn't see her because like I was home doing like homework and shit. Like we couldn't go outside and act stupid like when we were like in 7th grade. So I was busy with that. So then we finally got to see each other again in gym class, and then it was like nothing ever changed. It was literally like we were back to our old shenanigans, just talking. Just without chemo this time because chemo had already been done school by then. Oh yeah, I forgot she went to the Christian school after that. There's a whole bunch of, there's a lot to this friendship and the relationship, and it's interesting. But then so happened. Senior year, musical came around, and you guys know because we had the podcast with Eric and Mackenzie. So we were talking about our relationship, how that grew, and all that other stuff, and they were trying to make me cry because it was hilarious. So we were talking about getting all emotional about that and all that other stuff. So, Siani's the main reason why I even stayed in there, because girl, don't do that because you know I'm gonna cry. Because at first I wasn't even gonna do it because I was like, I really wanted to play Eric's part because he was Seaweed. So I really wanted to play Seaweed because that was my favorite character from fucking Hairspray. And I was like, bitch, I can fuck bitch. I nailed the shit out of this shit. And da 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 da. And then like I literally went into the audition. Like before that I was fine. Like I was singing, I was fine. And then I had like a good boost up because of the dance part. Because like that was fine. Like I was like, I did that. Like I was still nervous because I was like, I'm in front of a like actual choreographer for once. Like I don't know how this choreography is gonna be. Like I don't know if it's gonna be like complicated and shit. But I'm gonna try my best. And then like you just getting like that positive reinforcement from everybody like helped with that. But then like for some reason I just walked in there and I like froze. Like I literally probably sung like 2 lines of the fucking song, and then I was like. And I was like, I don't. Then it was like, I just walked out. I was like, nope, I can't do this. It was bad. It was bad. I was like, I don't know what happened. It was like so weird. So, and then after that, it was like, because I feel like it was like, I was getting callbacks and stuff like that. So I was like, I'm not gonna get a callback because like I fucking like failed that shit and da 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 da. But then I got called back for ensemble, and then I was like, ensemble doesn't even fucking do anything. All they're fucking doing is the background and da, 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 da. I don't want to be in the background. I feel like I'm just gonna be wasted in the background and stuff like that. Like you have a big part because you're Queen Latifah. Come on, like. So I was irritated about that, and then she was like, "No, just still trying, still trying." Da, da, da.
Right. Ensemble, first of all, for Hairspray, they have a huge in black people.
You can cuss, you can do whatever you want on there.
Black people, we're the star of that show. That's why I was hyped about it, because I'm like, this is our show. Like, this is our show. Finally, like,
literally,
I'm tired of doing Grease.
Oh, bitch.
And
Annie and shit, all that. Even though I love Annie.
Like, you can still shine. You better take what? You better dance like you in the front. But now, like, you still killed it. Like you still killed it.
It was alright, girl. I look back at it and was like, bitch, I was actually on stage acting that mess. On stage. Fucking doing spins and splits and a whole bunch of extra shit. I'm just like, girl, calm down. You're doing the most. You're not on Broadway yet.
I really do miss musical.
That was yeah, literally, because pretty much everything else I hated, because I was always in trouble. Always in trouble, because at that point I was going through a whole depressive state of like a whole bunch of shit. So I was arguing with everybody. I wasn't letting nobody say nothing to me. But I was just getting over a whole bunch of stuff. And like, it was like me holding in stuff for like all those years of like people talking shit and just like letting it slide over my like off my shoulders was getting tight. It was getting old. So I was like, okay, bitch, it's going off. Like anybody said something to me, then my crazy ass was out here throwing fucking trays at people because they kept putting the shit under there, picking up tables. I was acting a fucking mess. Just horrible. It was bad. And then that was like the shining light of the whole high school thing. So that was fun. So thank you again for encouraging me to still do that. I wanted to say that to make sure.
All my friends to be like, that's like where we got to hang out. You know, like we were so busy in high school with work.
I feel like we didn't have any time to do anything. Like,
we didn't. And then I did track on top of that. Did you do sport?
I did track the first. Yeah, because you weren't there yet. Was it my freshman or sophomore year? You might have been there. Sophomore year, I think I did track. It was either freshman or sophomore year I did track.
I was there. If you did a sophomore year, I was definitely there. I did it all 4 years. Senior year, of course, I had like senior writing. So I was like, I'm just gonna go to the track meets.
Literally. It had, because I don't remember seeing you practicing on the field when I was doing it, so it must have been freshman year. Yeah, but I did that for a year, and then people were surprised that I was like fast and shit like that. And I was like, girl, I've been running from these crazy people in my neighborhood for all my life. I have to be fast. But that was fun. And then there was a whole bunch of bullshit with them. And I was just like, girl, bye. I'm not dealing with this. So people talking shit, but wanting to be your friends, run your face. You know, the classic high school shit. Like high school shit. That still continues today. With people following you. Right. That hated your ass. They hated you. Yeah. And are always like, oh, liking your pictures and shit. I'm just like, okay, thanks. Appreciate you. But we're going to take a short break, guys, and we'll be right back with some more interesting scoops about my crazy ass. So, bye. Back on. Okay, guys, so we're back from our little short break. Going back to the album and the live performances. So, we last stopped when we were talking about it, the song titles. So you said it took a while for you had to get yourself out of the concept of thinking that it was like a bigger thing than it was. What do you feel like is the song that took the most out of you?
The most out of me,
like emotionally, like draining, like even when you had to perform it, like if you had because sometimes it takes you have to go back to that place to give it the same feeling.
I would definitely say Next Chapter. That's more like a ballad, but the beat is kind of hip hopish. But I did 2 versions of it. The one version actually didn't make it onto the album because that was just straight piano. But I honestly, I wish I would have did that one because it kind of, makes it a little bit more diverse. But this one is more like a hip hop beat. But anyway, that song is basically about, when I was in that dark place where I just felt like I said, I hit a wall and I didn't have anyone to turn to. I felt like no one really understood my situation because nobody else does music. Nobody else is trying in my family that I feel like it's like an entrepreneur trying to do something off of faith, like not the unknown, not knowing where it was going to take you. And I just felt like I was wasting my time. Like I felt like, I went to school, it didn't work out for me, and this was like my only option. Like this, I don't have to plan B. Like this is like plan A, B, C, D, L, M, P, G,
literally
Z.
Everything you gave.
So I was just like, I honestly felt like this was it. Like if I didn't make hits, like I didn't know what I was gonna do. So this song was definitely emotional. It pretty much, this is like, I think the most like heartfelt song that I have on this album. Something that's more like true to self. It's not anything about like anyone else. This is solely off of emotion, and I feel like you can feel that in all of my songs, but this one specifically. You can hear the passion, you can hear the emotion, you can hear the struggle, and in my lyrics also, like I put a lot of effort into writing my lyrics. I just take that seriously because I feel like a lot of music today, they write about peanut butter and jelly, like they don't write about nothing. So I take pride in that, and the people that I look up to, like India, I really like. Oh my gosh, like her lyrics are amazing, and that's the people that I look up to. I want to be able to tell a story through my music, so that's the song, Next Chapter. So check it out.
Check out the album.
Yes.
It's on Spotify. It's on all music platforms.
Yes, Tidal, iTunes.
So speaking as being an independent artist, there is a lot of stuff that there's a lot of benefits, but then there's a lot of drawbacks as well. One of the benefits being that all the royalties and all the publishing goes to you, so no matter what, you're getting paid 100%. Again, you still might have to pay for a manager and stuff like that, but pretty much all of that's going to you, so you have direct, pretty much like direct deposit, if you want to think of it like that. So as a start, like as you're growing, especially since seeing some of the stuff that you've done recently, do you want to talk about your recent like interview with some like the bigger radio stations? Because that was like a big moment for you. I saw, and then you signing I forget exactly what it was, but it was like you signing like a contract or something like that.
Well, you talking about Rock Nation?
Yeah, with Rock Nation.
Okay, well, I didn't sign a contract, but I'll get into that. So I'll talk about Boom 103.9. Everyone knows that station. If you're not, you live under a rock.
Literally.
But
or just have listened to radio as much as me.
Yeah, I shouldn't say living under a rock.
Because I don't listen to that shit as much as I used to.
Yeah, but basically, his name is On Air with Sir. He's been doing radio for 20 plus years. He just got on to, I think he was working at 97 point, no? I don't know. But he's been working at like a lot of different stations. But now he's at Boom 103, and my mom actually stalked. She stalks a lot of people on Instagram, like a lot of like radio personalities and all that stuff. So she kept sending me stuff. Like Look, I should have never told her about the DM on Instagram.
Oh god.
Or like that thing where you can just forward someone's like picture.
Oh gosh.
Because my phone's blowing up all day because she's sending me stuff like, check this out. Look at this person. Oh, you should do a collab with her. So I'm just like, all right, mom. So
she's such a proud mom. I love it.
Like, I would look at his stuff, but I was just like, okay, like he's just another person on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to focus on myself.
Mm-hmm.
But then she sent me some. I check out his live, or he's doing the interviews and podcasts. But I had never did a podcast before. I never did an interview. So I was like, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm nervous. Like that. He's like big time. So I'm just like, I'm scared. Like, what if I don't? I don't really have a family, so I don't know how that works. So anyway, he kept promoting it. So we ended up doing signing up for his podcast. And ever since then, like, it's like I wasn't as nervous, of course, when I went, but it was dope. Like, it was him. It was another lady named Pearline B. She has her own podcast, but they're all on his team, and they were just really supportive. So supportive that they came to my show. I did one at Rochester's in Glassboro. I don't know where that's. It's like around that area.
Yeah, it sounds like that's around Glassboro.
They came out and they stayed the whole show. They didn't have to.
Mm-hmm.
They did not have to, but they stayed the whole show. I had an interview with them. But basically, it's just like they like my work. They listen to my music, and they pretty much are supporting me. Like, and he's been mentoring me on the side. I had him mentor me for like a month and a half, and he would just mentor me about like what I need to do to move forward in music, connecting me with people. And just bringing me out to, like, I went to the Blue 103 block party. Just, like, different, like, workshops. I went for the opening. It was in Philly somewhere. But it was, like, the opening of LA Fitness. And just, just being around people, networking. He's helped me in that way. And, like I said, God is really putting people into my life that, like, I don't even want to say I'm not working for it. But it's just, like, kind of like I have my hand out and just putting people in my hand, and it's honestly a blessing. So he's dope. Like I said, the support is real. Like he posts stuff that I don't even ask him. Like he's just always just informing me about go to this show, go to this party, go to network. Like he's just on me. And then he also got me into doing the Rock Nation thing. So basically, it was a couple of options that you had because he's going to have a couple more coming up. So for you or anyone else out there that want to do, sign up for it. But,
we'll see. I had to get all this. I had to get used to it. Y'all gonna have to give me a little time. But I'll tell Eric and I'll tell Mackenzie and I'll tell some friends that are artists. I'll tell them about it. But y'all gonna have to give me a little bit of time. I need to make sure that the set right. You know how I am. I'm a perfectionist. So.
But basically, it was like the first one that he had was like a raffle ticket. So everyone pays for a raffle. You put your name in a hat. You pick it out. The person picks it out, and you get a meeting, a one-on-one session with Polo from Rock Nation. And he's an A&R. You don't know what A&R is. He basically scouts for talent.
Which we don't.
He's worked with Mariah Carey.
Usually have these days.
Right. He worked with Jay-Z, Rihanna, Tamar Braxton. He worked with everybody. So I was like,
okay.
I need you, sir. So, but anyway, I got I didn't do that option, but it was an option where you got to pay and do a one-on-one session. And you actually got a workshop, so you were with people that have been in the industry for like 20 plus years. You ask them anything that you wanted to know, and they'll give you the real. Because a lot of people, you gotta pay for information that I was getting at this workshop. Like people make you pay thousands of dollars for this information, but it will basically steps that you need to further your career. So that's like branding, getting an LLC. So that everything, like basically a label. So I'm working under my own label, which is Why Not Music and Productions.
I was going to ask you about that coming up too, because
sorry.
No, but continue talking. But I just wanted to ask if that was your own label.
Yes. What else? Just like having merchandise. Like I have T-shirts right now. I want to expand to do like hats and getting a logo. Like I'm working on my logo right now, but I kind of have something in the works. A website, just standard stuff that you might not know that you need, and how to get royalties, of course, for your money.
Exactly.
So not just making music and putting your stuff on SoundCloud. Like, that's dope if you don't want money.
Yeah.
Like, if you just want to put music off the phone, but actually put, like, music is money you have to pay to play.
Yeah.
That's just, you have to pay. And it's so expensive. That's why I have a job right now.
It really is. Because I'm trying to get all that together right now. And then if you want advertising, that costs a whole bunch of money.
It is expensive. That's why I'm like, support. Like, I support anyone, of course, that supports me.
Mm-hmm.
But I try to support a lot of artists.
Especially independent artists. It's hard.
Artists. And your friends. Like, I feel like a lot of people, friends don't support friends.
Yeah.
I'm getting off topic. Let me continue.
No, continue. Just talk. This is real.
Okay.
Because this happens. That's just how it is.
Friends don't support friends. And, you know, I'm not going to force you, of course, to support me. But at the end of the day, you need your friends' support. You need support from people.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's just a comment. Like, it can be so simple as, like, a comment under my picture or sharing. I would rather you share. But sharing my posts, just if that motivates me, that makes it known that, okay, I have people listening, I have people watching,
Mm-hmm.
you know, on the lookout. But so I met with Polo from Rock Nation, and he ended up loving my album. Like, I did like a compilation of, like, you basically had to give him one song, but I put like all my songs in like one song, like 4 minutes or something. And he loved it, but basically, not to go into too much detail, but I needed more content. Like, I need more videos. I need more, just things that I need to work on personally, before I can even go. Because the only label I would want to work with is Rock Nation, because they help independent artists like myself. Not only that, they do more than just music. They do television, things that I'm trying to get into. I want to do movies. I want to do commercials. I want to put my songs in movies. Like,
because those sinking checks.
Right. Like, I want to be so deep into this that I want to do everything. So I just have a lot of things that I have to work on. And basically, you know, I was just trying to figure out how I can get under his wing. Like, how can I get to where, you know, where you are, where I can be that artist that you showed to Jay-Z or, you know, all those people. So he basically gave me some tips, some tools, some advice, some gems. And it was dope. Like, and then, of course, I about to forget, he picked me to be a feature in Source Magazine.
Okay.
So that's dope, and that's where
everybody
back in the day, that's where people
everybody was on.
Right. So I'm totally blessed to be, you know, the chosen feature for that. But so that's, of course, I'm gonna give you guys. If you follow me on Instagram at DCOnIvory, you can find out when that's gonna be up. More details coming soon. But that was just an amazing. Like, I'm really glad that I spent that buck to go meet him, because that's a once in a lifetime thing.
Yeah.
We don't have opportunities like that knocking at your door.
Not at all.
You know, so it was dope. But that's pretty much it with, like, the, you know, people that are, like, deep into the industry that I've gotten in contact with. But yeah, I'm ready. Like, I'm so ready. Like, and I have, we'll talk.
We'll talk about it. But speaking on, let's go back to some of, obviously Indie Ivory is a big influence for you, but who is, like, some of the other artists that have, like, really influenced not just only just how you want to convey your music, but just how, like, the career path of how you want to propel your career?
Excuse me. Erykah Badu. I fell in love with her through my mom. And if you listen to my music, you can tell that she definitely has a really big influence on my music. Jill Scott. I love how she's a storyteller. Like, not only that, she's an actress, so she performs, and I'm a performer. Like, I'm on stage, I like to act through my songs. I like to live in the moment and perform. Like, her voice is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I love Jill Scott. I love
amazing.
her.
Who else? Lettucey.
Another one of my faves.
Listen, like I can listen to them all day.
Yeah.
Like, I never get tired of their music. And these are the people that I watch perform. Like, these are the people that they give me inspiration when I listen to their songs. I'm just like, oh, like that, okay, all right, I like how she did that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can, okay,
mm-hmm.
like, and I'm gonna name something else because I'm kind of feminist over here.
There ain't no problem with that.
Honestly, Rihanna. Rihanna is mm-hmm. definitely a inspiration. Beyonce, even though we're not in the same lane mm-hmm. of like music, mm-hmm. Just the way she handled her privacy. You know, she's business minded. Mm-hmm. Okay, getting them coins off of everything. Mm-hmm. That's what I want. Okay, you want my tissue that I just slid it on?
I'm dead. You so trash.
That's how Beyonce.
This here today on TMZ, Sione Aubrey decided that she wanted to give her sweaty tissue to one of her fans today for not
$1 million.
Yes.
No, I would never do that. But like, I just want to be business minded. I want to, like, you really have to. It's a different way of thinking. Mm-hmm. And I said Rihanna, Beyonce, Layla Hathaway, and her register.
Layla Hathaway is just,
she's and then she can just like go on and stuff like, girl, what?
Like her dad is in her, like, mm-hmm. And I love Donnie. I love her dad anyway, but then like her being able to sing like she sings, it just makes me sad because I think about it. I'm just like, I wish that he was still alive, just so they could sing one song together. And just to hear what it would sound like.
Definitely Diana Ross. She's
mm-hmm. Just the longevity of Diana Ross is mm-hmm. like amazing.
Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I listen to his. Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder, one of the best.
Stevie. No, I was gonna. But Stevie.
I love Stevie.
He's the king. Like, he's amazing.
I don't know who that is. It's probably my mom.
I can't think. Forgive me, but
it's fine.
That's pretty much, just everyone that my mom has listened to, people that I've grown up listening to. Like, they've just influenced me, like, in general. Like, I subconsciously actually, like, I was like, oh, you sound like some of the people I have to look up. Like, I'm just like, I do. Josh Stone.
Oh, I love Josh Stone. That's another one.
Yeah, like, it's just, I can't think. But it's just, it's a whole timeline of music that has influenced me. So, yes.
Another question. This is going to be probably a hard question.
Okay.
But it's a good question. I like to ask people. So, as an artist, what do you feel like you can bring to the industry that is missing, or just something that could be new?
Okay, well, one, I feel like my music is in its own lane. I don't think I sound like anyone. And definitely in this day and age, I feel like I'm bringing back a form of R&B. It's definitely like a mixture of, like, my songs are just a compilation of jazz, R&B, a little bit of hip hop, a little bit of like alternative, urban, opera, like just everything you can think of combined into like one little CD. Mm-hmm. And soul, like, it's just a compilation of everything. So definitely new, fresh vibes, inspiration, because I feel like we need more of that in our music.
Mm-hmm.
Hi.
Sorry for that brief little thing. My mom just came home. But I feel like where we ended at, we were talking about we just ended on influences.
Yeah. Well, no, we were talking about what do I think I can bring to
Oh, yes.
But yeah, I feel like I can bring, like just a new wave of just like new vibes, new energy, just musical content. I feel like I'm creative, so I like to create new things, like things that, of course, influenced by the greats, but things that I can call my own. Like you can listen to it like that's Siani Apri. Like I know she's going to give me this, or I can expect this from her. So I feel like just a new R&B, lyrics, good lyrics, and just positivity. Like I just want to spread positivity because not only with being a woman, it's a lot of hatred. It's just that's how it's always been.
Literally.
But I want to spread positivity. I want to spread love. I want to spread honesty. I want to just be truthful. And I always felt like I couldn't. I never really went through anything like terrible. I feel like a lot of celebrities, they go through like a period where they're just like, they go through some hard time. Like they might be homeless or they might have a parent that's like on drugs or something. I'm blessed to not have that situation. But I've always felt like I couldn't make music or I couldn't be famous or an influence because I didn't have that type of story. But I know there's a lot of people that can relate to me, even though I haven't gone through that. So yeah.
What else do I have for an interview question? I was trying to think of questions while you were talking. Now I can't think of anything.
I thought you had the list.
I do, but I don't. I just use that as like a baseline. But I don't like. I try. It's about being comfortable with the person. So, I guess we can get off of that because we pretty much talked about all of that. But before we get off of that and just start talking about like regular life stuff, can you just give them like all your social medias just ahead of time so they can check you out if they're just listening through and they want to check your Instagram and stuff out?
Yeah, well, it's really simple. I really only have. I just made a Twitter actually today, so. But that's the Siani Apri. I will be posting things like shows, videos, just when I will be putting new releases out, and all that stuff. Instagram, the same thing. The Siani Apri. I'm gonna spell it out. It's TheeCianniAbri. So, and the same on Facebook. So it's those three things. Go follow me. I will follow back. And press that big button.
Okay, so let's just get into some regular life stuff. So I guess it's kind of like hot topic-y, like some stuff that's been going on. So you know how, especially with like some of the interesting stuff that's been going on, like Kehlani with her baby, how that was like a huge surprise for everybody, and people were talking. She's pregnant? She's pregnant. You didn't even know that? You didn't even know she was pregnant?
I think I live under a rock because I don't know.
I literally just found out like a week ago. I'm like I was probably late too, but she posted on Instagram just like her with her fucking baby bump, like 3 months or so. So then people were like, it started a very interesting conversation, especially in our community with certain things, because she's open about her sexuality being open, where she's can be with women or with men. People were like kind of coming at her like, I thought you were like a lesbian and like lesbians can't have like babies and stuff, like some stupid stuff, some really stupid stuff like that. So and then like people were like confused about who got her pregnant. So like it was a huge thing. So she finally revealed who it was. So then you look on his page and like he's more like he's very like open himself, like he's bisexual himself. So it's like with a bisexual man, and then people were coming at him and saying like how fuck like he's just gonna leave you for a man and like all that stupid stuff that you just like get, and then like people are just so stupid. But it's like so interesting to talk about stuff like that. Like it's about like a new life being created, but we're talking about like negatives,
I feel like
an
people,
issue.
Yeah, people that talk about stuff like that, I feel like they talk about it because they don't understand it, or they don't understand the situation,
or they don't even want to understand
they
it.
don't want to understand it, and it's not that, like, why are you so like me personally? Congratulations, Kalani.
Yeah,
but like, why is that like if she's a grown woman?
Yeah, exactly, and he's a grown ass man. Like,
and he's a grown man, and they made the decision. Two bisexual beings made the decision to have a baby. Like,
and let me just make a correction. She doesn't identify as bisexual. She just identifies as queer. I just want to make sure that all this things are, yeah, because there's.
I really don't know any term like.
Yeah.
All I know is gay, bisexual, straight.
Yeah, but there's a lot of stuff in between though. I just want to make sure that's correct because she doesn't. Because she's just like, I'm for everybody, bitch. If I want to do this, I'm going to do this. If I want not, which I really respect. People just irritate me. Like it's just there's no reason. And then it was just hilarious because like he had the guy that got her pregnant. Is actually like a good friend of hers as well, and he's like a band member of her band. Like he's her guitarist. So it was even more interesting because that's her guitarist, and it's like that's like it always happens like that anyway. But it's just like okay. And then what made it funny because like I researched it because I was like I was interested. I was like okay, so who is this guy? Like it's just interesting. Then to find out that like his brother was on like is like a correspondent for Trevor Noah on the Daily Show. And like his own thing, he was on like Jimmy Fallon, and he's like a comedian and shit like that. So and then he just happens to be gay, and then his other brother is bisexual, and then his other brother is straight. So it was like that was like I just found that out because he was talking about it on his like comedy specials. And I was like, this is so interesting. Like 3 brothers and they're all different sexualities. Like that's hilarious to me. Like it was just like an interesting fact, like just how different. Like I feel like when we were growing up, it was like literally just people like, oh, you're like either straight or gay. Like now you see people like being like, oh, I'm pan, or I'm like, even like younger kids, like they're already like are figuring it out, like, and not being afraid to say it. Like I feel like
the doors have been open.
Yeah, the doors have been open, especially for like artists like Janelle Monáe and like Dan Kaylani. I wouldn't say I was surprised. I wouldn't say I was surprised or not either, because in some ways I was like it makes sense, and in some ways it did. It's just like
I just figured because she was never like a dress type of girl, and I don't know. I guess put that. I probably shouldn't. If you don't wear dresses,
like that's like the stereotype, like the stereotype of what that.
She used to always wear suits, and like she's a gorgeous woman, but.
And I'd be like, her suit game be life, bitch. I'd be like, Janelle, can you give me a damn suit, please? I really want one. Like every single time she wears like an outfit, I'm like, can you like tailor that for me?
And I love how she's still keeping the black and white.
I love that because she always looks great in black and white. I just love it.
I was gonna say, Dej Loaf.
Oh, I love Dej Loaf.
Do you think she's like? She doesn't say what she is.
I always thought that she was fluid. I always thought that she was fluid. That's pretty much just like saying that you're able to date whoever.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I figured because I don't know.
Because she started off a little bit more. I guess more. I feel like her fashion is very androgynous. So, like, she could go either way. So, I was always like, this is interesting. Somebody with androgynous clothing. Like, this is interesting. And then I love her music. I feel like she's a great artist.
Even though, like, some of her songs, I'm like, that's her.
Yeah,
Like I'm like,
because some things don't like you wouldn't expect to come out of her just based off of how she presents, which is even more interesting because you won't since you don't expect it, you're not in tune with how talented she actually is. So that's always interesting. And then we have the issue. Another hot topic issue is the issue between Nicki Minaj and Cardi B and that whole thing. Which is hilarious to me because I'm just like, there's a lot of layers to it that makes it interesting, at least for me.
So, what is your take on it? Because I feel like we're gonna have two different takes on it.
My thing is, we probably might be on the same page with it. To be honest, I'm like it's interesting because when you think of it as in hip hop. And just how hip hop has always been a competition between different rappers and stuff like that. It's always been about the competition. So when you think of it, for this generation, we really haven't had a huge like female version of it happen. Because like on the male side, like it's like Drake and then Pusha T at the moment, but then Drake was beefing with other artists, and then other artists were beefing with people, and it got to a big point. But it's never been like anything like this because they're two like top artists in the field arguing. It's like it's like how back in the day it was like Biggie and Tupac with their beef. Unfortunately, it ended with like tragedy with them both passing away. But I feel like for this generation, that's how it's being looked at as. But I'm kind of conflicted because I don't like seeing it because I feel like it just portrays that women can't ever coexist in the same field.
Are you like putting the finger on someone, like, or is it just like you think it's like?
I feel like, but I'm one of those people that feels like many things can happen and it can all be part of the truth. So I feel like in some portions it's both of their faults, but I feel like it all started with Nicki. Not especially just because she was, for all those years she was alone. It was just her always winning everything. And she got used to it and she got hyped up and got too close to drinking the Kool-Aid. And now she's drinking the Kool-Aid and now there's somebody else just coming in and then breaking records that she hasn't even broke, and she's been in the game longer. So there's like a jealous factor to it that I feel like was portrayed, and you can just see how certain ways that she says certain things. And then it's interesting one way because how she's acting is a mirror of, is like the opposite of how she was. She's literally what Lil' Kim was when she first came out, because Lil' Kim was like, you're not even respecting me and acting like you even were influenced by me, but everything you're doing with the pink, with like the different hairstyles, with the animation, the animated voices and all that other stuff, which everybody was like, that's Kim, like that she's just a new version of Kim. And like I understand because even Normani is getting like the new Beyonce, and she's like, my name's Normani, like I'm gonna die in Normani, like, and people are like coming at her because she was saying that, but it's the truth. She's Normani, like she's not gonna be anybody else. You can't like it's great to be compared to somebody that you're like a fan of, and she's always gave Beyonce the respect that she deserves for her being an artist, but you have to let people be who they are as well. But just how Nicki was like, she doesn't give me the respect I deserve, like when Cardi was doing that, it was like I literally flashed back to how Kim was saying the same thing about her. So it's like you're kind of getting exactly what she put out. So kind of like so to me, I was always like, deal with it. Like, you're mad about something that you did to somebody else, it's gonna come back to bite you one of these days. So it finally came back. And then I do believe like it's the labels, and then my gender. Man, we do some stupid stuff sometimes. We egg it on because it's interesting, and as much as we try to act like we the thing is, like, we love crazy.
Yeah.
And let's just be honest. Like, guys, we just like crazy stuff. So, like, if you're we say we don't like crazy, but we actually do like crazy. So we like just seeing that animosity between females, and just like, you even just look at it in like the dating scene, like how you'll have guys just going out and doing whatever, and then like two girls fighting over him. It's like an interesting thing. Like, it's so fun. Not saying that I do that, guys, because I'm not like that. Just saying, I'm not like that. I have a whole different, more issues, but with that, then is it? I don't know. But tell me what your take is, because I feel like we might be on this.
I think it's a jealousy thing.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that. I feel like she is nervous. I feel like she's very nervous. And then I also think that they're petty. Like, I just feel like
I agree. I agree with it being petty too.
Yeah,
because I feel like it's because I feel like at some point it should have been over by now.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, we get your. It's not even like you're addressing why you're mad type thing. It's like, it's kind of like you're pointing talking about Nikki. She's pointing the finger, but she's not really like looking in the mirror and being like, this is the real problem. I feel like she feels like I feel like I'm saying the same thing over and over again. But,
yeah.
I feel like she feels as though she has a team behind her, like her fans and everything. And like, of course, you have somebody else that's coming up that has fans as well. But she feels like her fans or everyone's going to listen to her as soon as she speaks. Like, oh no, like Cardi tells her side of the story, and she says 2 words like, "We're cool," like, and then it's just like, "Oh, okay, we believe you, Nikki." Like, no, when your actions are saying something totally different,
exactly.
The things that you're like going on over, like I didn't even know she was on Reddit.
Is that and let's get onto this part because there's a podcast I listen to. I don't know if you listen to the Friend Zone podcast. But it's a podcast pretty much on mental health and stuff like that. But it's like about hot topics and stuff and music and stuff like that. Great podcast. Giving some promotion to the Friend Zone podcast. Go find them out. And then there's another podcast I listen to. It's called The Read. With Kid Fury and Crystal. That's another great podcast if you guys are interested in podcasts. So I listen to that. But on the Friend Zone, they were talking about Queen Radio and how how with it being an artist doing it, how it could be really detrimental to her career. And then some of the content that she's already putting out is kind of already showing how detrimental it could be to her career. And then like going on how you said her having all those fans in her career, and then her saying something and her believing that we're just going to listen to her. I feel that that's even a bigger manifestation of why she created Queen Radio.
Yeah, like I truly think that she's using that and running with it. Like, of course she's going to have people that are going to believe her, die-hard fans. But people with sense, would know. Like, I just didn't.
And people that look at both sides, because
people that look at both sides, and it's like, and some of the stuff is really common sense. Like, it's like all in the timeline, how things happen. And Cardi, I'm not gonna lie, Cardi's timeline seems to be more accurate than what Nicki's talking about. Even though Nicki, I feel like she hasn't really given like a full example.
Yeah, because I feel like she's just giving like
a roundabout.
Yeah, roundabout. It's not like bullet points, because I feel like Cardi's giving you like bullet points in specific events, and those events are actually being like co-signed by other people that actually were there. But I just, to be honest, like, it's interesting, like, it's fun to have drama and all that, like, it's fun to see that, but like, after a while it gets petty, because then after, like, the whole kid situation, like, at the fashion week, where, like, you're calling the baby ugly and stuff like that, Cardi's child ugly,
but even if that was the case, I felt like Cardi was definitely wrong in that situation. Okay,
and there, like, she's wrong, like, I believe both, it's like a both brain thing. So you have to understand. So I go back to this, and this has been said before, so it's not like a new concept. But you're thinking of somebody like Cardi that has literally, and it's kind of like a reward system as well, if you really think about it. But she's from the Bronx. One, that's a tough place to live. She grew up in an environment where, like, you have to be strong. You have to keep your foot down, like, not let people see you sweat. That's, like, pretty much, like, New York all day. Just inner city shit, to be real. So then you go on Instagram, you're getting rewarded for being bombastic and being exactly who you are and very real and open and honest. You're on Love and Hip Hop, where you're getting rewarded and getting all this praise for fighting people and stuff like that. And then you still act like that way because that's personally who you are in the first place. So you're not being inauthentic with who you are. So even though her trajectory is going up, I feel like she's still in the same mentality of having to fight. So when somebody says something to you, you're used to going exactly to that person and letting your fists talk instead of you actually conversing with them about it in private. You're not used to that. So I believe it's a portion of that. So I kind of give her, I wouldn't say I give her a pass, because I still do believe it's wrong, because I don't think you should put your hands on nobody.
Not even that.
I don't know.
Okay. So if Cardi was like, when she first started out, like, I feel like that would have been acceptable. Like, if she had just started out, she didn't do the TV show, she went to the show, or the fashion show, and this came out. Okay, that's acceptable. I understand. But now you're at the point where you need to have people in your circle that want the best for you. Okay, whether you know that or not, someone in your mom. I don't know how her situation is set up, but someone needs to be giving you what you need. Like, you need that support. You need someone saying, Cardi, sit down. Like, don't. It's not worth it. And you need to start thinking. I feel like she thinks in the now. Like, you need to think about the future. How is this going to affect you later on? I don't know what she got put on. I don't know if she's going to ever be able to go. Maybe she will. Who knows? But I don't think it was acceptable. I think that she always gets pity for where she comes from and her lack of education, or not actually education, but lack of upbringing and just having that type of guideline. But when is it going to stop? Like, when are we going to be like, you should know better. Like, you should know better.
Yeah, I just feel like it's very nuanced. That's the thing, because it's in some ways you agree. Like, I agree with her because it's so nuanced. Because the thing is, like, I'm even putting myself in those shoes, and then I'm thinking about even how I was in high school. One word set me off. It was over. Like, I was going crazy. And that was just after taking in all the bullshit before. And imagine if I was an artist and I had a platform and stuff like that, and then people see me do that in school. Like, how would that translate? So, again, I can't go off. It's, like, hard to be like, that's wrong, and then hard to say that it's right at the same time. So it's very nuanced. So we didn't totally disagree, but
we didn't disagree. But I just think that I guess I would give her a pass because
I just don't want her to. The thing is, I just don't want her to do it again.
I just don't. Yeah, I don't think it should be. If it happens again, then it's like, all right, Cardi.
Yeah.
You should have learned it. Like, this is the first time she ever did something like this publicly, I believe, right? So I guess we'll give her a pass, but it's not. I mean, I don't have a child. I don't know how I'll react if someone called my child ugly, so I can't say, I wouldn't do what she did, but handle it outside. Handle it outside. And she confronted her like 3 times before, she said, why aren't you, but I guess she ain't talking about her child. I don't know. So much tea. Yeah.
But we'll be right back, guys, after this short break. Okay, guys, we're back for the next portion. So, let's see what we can still talk about. Because we have to catch up on so much. So, let's get into some extra stuff.
Okay.
So, how's the love life been going?
Oh, gosh. I have no love life. I need to have one because my birthday is on Valentine's Day. I'm not trying to have another birthday with no Valentine. So, send your application. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But no love life. Nothing interesting on this end. I've been talking to people, but they haven't been succeeding. So it's like, I kind of, and I've been so, like, you don't understand, I've been so busy, so it's like, I really, like, if I were, time. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, we can hang out. Oh, wait, hold on. Can we do next week?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, can we do it through this time frame? Because I gotta go get, like, it's just, it's difficult.
I understand, definitely.
But, yeah, so it's a struggle.
Yeah.
It's a struggle right now.
No real luck over here either.
No. See,
and
I think it's just generation.
And more, and people like, but she have more patience, so why is it harder than like, because one, boys are stupid.
Right.
And girls,
look, I agree.
They're crazy.
Yeah.
Not all, but
it's like finding someone with the same
mindset.
Like, now I'm at that age where I'm like, when I get into that relationship, like, if I get into a relationship with someone, I want it to be long term. Like, I think now we're at the age, or this time, we can talk to each other, and that can be like dating. You know what I mean?
And then there's so many different terms for it now.
Yeah.
Like, what is it? What is this stupid shit that these kids do?
I have all I know is talking. I'm still talking.
Talking. Then it's exclusive. Yeah, well, then it's official. I'm like, and there's like different terms. Like, and anybody listening that's like 18 or younger, please, if you guys know, listen to this, please explain this to me. But from what I'm gathering, this is what official means. Mm-hmm. Official means that we're together, right? But then there's another thing called exclusive that people use. So that means, so exclusive means that we're only, like, I'm only with you, and, like, we're exclusive, like, we're only having sex with each other, and, like, we can't have any other things that's going on.
Okay.
And then talking is, like, but, like, still talking, like, how it is for us, like, how we used to say talking. Then there's, like, some other, like, weird terms. I'm like, can you just, like, figure it out? Like, because I'm, like, confused, like, the whole exclusive thing and then the official thing doesn't make any sense to me.
That's why I'm just like, even like the titles, like
the titles don't
make
sense.
What is the point of having like a boyfriend girlfriend title? Like, what is the point of that when it's all these other things? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't even think boyfriend girlfriend mean the same thing.
It probably don't. Like, to be honest,
it's like, it's crazy. So listen, all I know is married. Like, if I'm single and married, if not, I'm out the loop. Like, I don't know.
Speaking on that, what do you think of? So, do you see yourself getting married? Because I go back and forth with this all the time.
I see myself getting married, but I know for a fact, like, I want to be with that person for. Now, I do struggle with this, like the time frame.
Oh, that's
people think I'm crazy when I say like 5+ years.
That's
be with
that's so relatable.
Huh?
I said that's relatable. Then.
Yeah, like I'm just like they're just like, no, 2 years. It only be 2 years to be with someone you know. I'm like, no.
Yeah, I've been with someone for
like a year and a half, and like I did not want to marry them at all. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm still young though, but
I feel like time frame thing is another thing that's weird because I feel like it just works. Certain things work for different people.
Yeah.
Certain things don't. Me, I don't know. I always go back and forth because I'm like, half the time I'm like, do you even want to be in a relationship? Like, you don't even like people like that. Like,
oh God.
And you know me, like like it's hard for me to get to know people in the first place. Yeah. So it's like me dating you and have to then like I'm even getting busier now, so like I already understand your schedule already because I'm trying to figure this all out and like
and you need someone that's going to understand. I won't say you have to date someone in the industry or the same thing that you're doing, but someone that's going to understand, like, or that's supporting you. You need someone that's going to support you. Like,
exactly.
Point blank period.
Because and then there's all these different even things that are like taboo, but they've been going on for like years. Like the whole like if you're in an open relationship or you're in like, because again, certain things work for people, like, and then you look at the marriage statistics of divorce and shit like that. It's like 50%. It's like maybe you should have tried a different version of.
Well, we both have like families that are are together, so we have a good
gauge of like it can work, but then like also you see all these different things in your family as well, because certain people in my family are single and they've been single for like a long time, and they're like fine with it. Then there's people that have been single that are trying to get to that place, but it just never works out for some reason.
But I don't know. I don't even know what that age would be for me. That like I'm just like, okay, if it hasn't worked out at like this certain age, I'm just gonna be single. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's like 40. I feel like if I'm still single by 40, just give it up, sis. Like, just stop looking. Like, you good. You made it this far by yourself. You can make it the rest of the way.
I don't know. That's hard. Relationships are just, and I just feel like people don't, first off, people don't know how to talk anymore. That's one thing. And then, like, it's hard to, and then with texting, like, I'm one of those people, like, calling is like, I want to call you, like, I want to hear your voice.
You can't get the full, like, I could be getting smart with you and you would never know through a text message. You could think I'm being friendly.
Like, because, like, I understand the importance, like, if you're at work and, like, you get to talk to somebody, like, I get that, like, but I don't feel
privacy.
Like, privacy, but, I don't know, there's just, I feel like we're on, like, the cusp of, like, the age of where we, like, grew up with, like, where it was, like, still a lot of, like, old school stuff, and then, like, but we grew up with, like, the computers and the iPads, and, like, but we got that, like, when we were, like, older
and responsible.
Before we got that, so, like, and then it's just, like, even with the social media age, and then, like, me trying to, like, we can even talk about this, like, the whole, relationship of being somebody that's, trying to get into the industry, or just being entertainment, period, and then you having a significant other, and then the battle of, should I post this on here?
Yeah.
Should I not post this on here?
Well, I will say this. I'm like the term talking. I'm not dating, but I'm talking to this guy. He is a drummer. So, like, he, worked with, he does a lot of gospel stuff, but he's performed with Lauryn Hill. Like, he's performed with a lot of big people. And, so, like, if we were ever get to that stage of, like, dating, but I don't know if I would, like, publicize that. I don't know if I would, like, even tell people, like, me being an artist, I don't even know if I would tell people I was in a relationship, because I would want to keep that part of my life private. I don't, like, even if I do post a picture, I wouldn't say, like, we're dating. Like, I would just post a picture.
That's how I am too. Because I was thinking the same thing. I was like, because, and then it's like, I think of careers, like, you think of Beyonce, like, talking about Beyonce, like, how private she is. Like, you only see what she gives you. And then, like, you go back to how it used to be in the industry before that, like, we didn't know anything.
Yeah.
Like, until, like, a scandal happened, and that was, like, a huge deal, because it was, like, a huge thing actually happening. But now it's, like, every single thing you know about somebody's relationship.
Right, they post everything. What they're eating.
What they're eating, like, this person cheated on me, like, the 6th time, and you're still looking after the 6th time of him cheating on you, or you getting cheated on, and him having a child, and
see, I would never.
It's just, and I don't know, because I feel like it. and then even going with that goes with the marketing and just how like people say if you have a relationship and you're an artist, it cuts out the desirability of people being like attracted to you, not just because of the music, but just being attracted to you. Just
even though some people actually do like you
do with somebody like swingers and stuff like that. But again, that goes with like the open relationship stuff, like and all that other stuff. But it's just interesting just how things have changed.
I give props to Beyonce and Jay-Z, like everyone's in your business, and not only that, like some people would know, like they know Jay-Z is in a relationship, but they'll try to get with him or get get in his pants just so she can say something about it to her. Like I know that has to be hard. Like, listen, I might be like Cardi B and
it's
hop off at a literally.
That's what I'm always like. You never know which way you're gonna go. So.
But no, I'm not violent. Just so y'all know, I'm not.
She's not violent.
I'm not violent, but just saying, like that's
not violent anymore.
No.
At least I make sure that I don't go to the levels.
We turned over and we leave.
Yeah, literally had to do a whole bunch of work. Still need some.
Right.
Another topic I always want to talk about, especially being creatives, and then we're in a portion of time where mental health is starting to be talked about a lot more. And then you already talked about your bouts with depression during that period of being let down by that whole situation for the tour. That was like an international tour that you really were excited about. So just talk about, can you like elaborate just about that? And then...
Yeah, so when I was like depressed, I don't even want to call it depression, but it was just a very dark time. I feel like if anyone is like struggling with like depression or just like self-hate, because I feel like that was what majority of it was a lot of self-hate and just like I'm so hard on myself. And of course, I'm young and I keep forgetting that. Like I keep forgetting like, Siani, you have like, you're only 22. Like you have a whole lifetime to achieve the things that you need to achieve. But I feel like I'm on a time frame and I feel like, okay, at this point I should be here. Like that's where my mental state is. So when I don't achieve or when I have expectations and I don't, live up to them, that's when I go into these very dark places. And I'm very down on myself. And I'm just like, nothing, I don't hear anything. Like, you can talk to me, you can try to encourage me. It's just like, I'm listening. I don't hear you. Like, I hear you, but I'm not listening. So, and what basically got me out of all of that was church. Like, I was in church when I was younger, but I definitely strayed away from that. Once, like, I think when I was around, like, 13, I stopped going to church until 22. So that's a very long time without, of course, my family is very, very religious. But my parents were, like, not the type that were, like, you have to go to church every Sunday. It was kind of like my decision. And especially at that age, when I was younger, of course, I had to go. But in that teenage age, I could choose whenever I wanted to go to church. And it was difficult. Their jobs, they couldn't go all the time. But when I left school, that's when I really, because that was my top choice. Like, I didn't pick any other school. Actually, that's a lie. I was thinking about going to Montclair. But only reason why I did that is because my mom was like, you can get a scholarship or some type of something for going to a school in New Jersey. But once she said I didn't have to go to a school in New Jersey, I was like, okay, like, that's out. But this is the only school that I wanted to go to. I went to this amazing school. I was out there for like a year and a half. Like, my dreams were like right there. Like, I could taste it. Like, I was looking at it. Like, I was surrounded by people that wanted to do the same thing I wanted to do. My teachers were on Broadway. I was right there. And then, like, all of that just gone. Like, gone. Like, just imagine you looking at your dreams and then they're just gone. Like they're like you have no way of getting in touch with them, and that's just where I was at. And then I went to church. My mom was just like, you're going to church. Like that's not. I didn't have no option. My mom was like, you're going to church, whether you like it or not. And at first I was very like unresponsive. Like I wouldn't even clap. Like I would just sit there. Like I was real disrespectful. Like I would just sit there like with a straight face, and like I wasn't trying to hear. Like I just wasn't trying to hear what he had to say. I would pray, of course, because that's really disrespectful. But you know, like I was not here for it. And then, you know, he kept talking. That's what I didn't like about it either. Like the pastor was talking to me, like, and I was like, why is he saying that? Like he's not supposed to be saying that. Like I was like, what do you mean? I'm like, he talking about going out and partying and you know not prioritizing them. Like why is he talking about me? And I would feel like he was staring at me too. Like. And I was like, Mom, I don't like this. And my mom would try to always sit up front. I'm like, I want to sit in the back, like behind the pole where you can't see my face. I was so mad. But the more I went, the more I was just like, all right, I might as well listen. Like, I'm here for 2 hours. I might as well listen. And honestly, when you're in such a spiritual place, you just can't help but feel moved or feel some type of inspiration or just hear the message. And that's pretty much what happened. Like I just started taking it in, and like once my parents stopped like asking me questions about it, I think is when I started like once they started being like before they would be like, oh, like, you know, did you learn anything today? Like did anything speak to you? And I'm just like, no. I'm like, no, I didn't get anything. Like, I already knew that. Like, you know, being real disrespectful. But then, once they was like, all right, you know, I'll just let you live. I'll let you, you know. I started being like, Mom, did you hear what he said? Like, you know, like, did you hear that? Or like, you know, I learned this, and like, it just was, I don't know. And I had a lot of people praying for me. Like, so many, like, you don't understand. I was in that dark of a place where everybody was just praying for me, and I was praying for myself. I didn't know how to pray at the time, so I would write a journal, make a journal, and just write my prayers out because I'm very bad at talking. Like, I'll just be like, that's it. Like, so I would write it out and just say it, of course, whenever I got the chance to. And when I can't explain it. Like, everything just started like coming into light. Like everything just came into light. Like I just started seeing things clearer. I got out of this slump or dark place, like just because prayer. Like I just prayed for happiness. I prayed to not feel this way because I know people have, you know, when they get into these places, they feel like they have no other option, and then they go and do something that they cannot take back. They take their lives. They take other people's lives. They might ruin something, you know, that they can never get back. And I did not want to be in that situation. I knew I had a stable family that supported me, of course, when times got rough and when times were great. Like, I had no problem. It was just me. It was myself. And I had to find that out. I had to go through that. And I had to lose a lot of people. Like, when I say
that happens.
I had to lose. When I say I was alone, like, I was alone. Like, I really had no friend. Even Chemo. Like, Chemo's my best friend. We went through a period where I did not talk to her. Like, and it wasn't because we weren't friends. It was just because I felt like, you know, she was going through her own thing and I was going through something. And that's just how life happens. But we have that connection where we, of course, when we met, just like me and you, it just
goes back to how it used to be.
And that's how you know when you have a real friendship. When you go back to something and it's not the same, that's when you know you gotta cut them off. And that's really what it is. It's like, I was hanging around the wrong people. People feeding me, like, you don't need yes men. I need people that are just like, Siani, go to church, or go get your life. Like, no, don't do that. Or, what are you doing? Like, why would you sabotage yourself? So, that's pretty much, like, honestly, God got me through that So for anyone out there, like I just would say pray. Like, and even if you don't know how to pray, I would have a journal. That's what I did. I still have a journal. I don't write in it every day. I'm not going to sit here and say I write in it every night. But whenever I get the chance to, I write in a journal. And it's a good way to reflect. It's a good way to look back and see where you came from and the progress. Because you can get lost in all of this and not, not know the progress that you've made. But yeah, I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, I just wanted to just talk about it. And then I'll talk about my own stuff.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of on the same lines as yours. So, this was before I went to high school. So, this was like a huge thing. And everybody was scared about it. Even me, because I didn't even know what's going on. But, so, I've pretty much been bullied all my life. And you know, because you were with me pretty much with people talking shit pretty much all of my life. So being bullied and then people just like questioning my sexuality all my life, telling me that I was this, telling me that I was that, and then like me not even know what the fuck that shit was. Like, it started in like second grade, so I'm like 6 years old. Like, bitch, I don't know what the fuck that is. Like, I don't know what these people are talking about, but you can just tell by the tone of voice and how people are doing it that it's like a negative thing. So you just internalize that, and then just taking it. So then it got, and then at that time, especially 8th grade, this is when it like really was bad because it started all to pile up. So I didn't have my best friend, Amani, who's pretty much like my sister, like with us, like no matter what, like I'll go talk to her and it's like we're back at the same shenanigans all over again. So she had to move because her mom decided to move to Arizona because she was going to school down in Arizona. So they moved in 8th grade. So to be like that was like the only, like I had other friends, but there wasn't anybody in school that I was literally had the same like that connection with. So it was like me mourning like somebody. So like I didn't have that confidant to go to and just talk to her. So like that like lifeline was gone. So it's like pretty much me just having to like deal with stuff even more by myself. So dealing with that, it was like really dark. In the darkest moment, like it still kind of gets to me that I was downstairs. And I was literally like just messaging people like, just telling you that I love you and blah blah blah. Because my plan was that I'm just gonna do one last dance and get a knife from right over there and slit my throat.
Oh my god!
Literally. So right before that, so I do my little dance, and then this is one of my favorite songs, because it just reminds me of, Sierra Promise. So that was like one of my favorite songs at that, still to this day. It's still kind of hard for me to listen to it now, because that was like the last song I was going to listen to and dance to before I was going to like take myself out. But it was because the reason why I picked that song is because it reminded me of my aunt that passed away from cancer. But I felt like I felt a lot of regret because I was like young, so my parents didn't want me to go to the funeral. So I always felt some type of way about that. So that was weighing on me. And then just not having like an identity, like having an identity crisis, because me being adopted, not knowing who my birth parents are, that weighs on you as well. So that was in on it too. Then people talking shit about you, trying to tell you who you are when you don't even know who you are really. So that was bad. And then it was like right before the song was about to end, like right before the song was about to end, like I could just hear like this voice being like, "What do you like? What like? You'll get through this. Like, why are you acting like this? Like, you'll be fine. Like, just wait another day." And literally, like, slowly but surely, like after that day, it was fine. And then like a lot of stuff just cleared up. But I can't say it was necessarily. I don't know. I still to this day I don't know what voice I heard, but it was just a voice like, no, this ain't for you. Like, you have a whole life to live. Like, I don't know why you're thinking that you can't figure out who you are later in your life. You don't have to know who you are and like in middle school. Like, you're not supposed to know this at this point. Like, you have so much to learn. So after that, and then it's high school. Still acting out, of course, but I'm out of the depression. But now it's pretty much all that sadness and like depression turned to anger because it's like just years of this like whole bunch of bullshit that I had to deal with people that were supposed to be my friends but actually weren't my friends, that were spreading more rumors about me just by hanging out with me. It was just a hard year, and then you get to the moment of the musical, which is always why it's such a big deal for me. Because I felt like I was finally able to be my complete self. Because it was like a combination of everything I loved the most. Yeah. So it was music, it was singing, it was dancing, and it was just being on stage with people that I actually gave a fuck about. That actually gave a fuck about me. Yeah. So it was like a big, huge deal.
It was like a whole thing. It was like a family.
Yeah. Even though we got on each other's nerves, that's just a process. Right. Because you just, like, no matter what, like, that connection will never go away. Just because you're literally doing something with people for months together, and you see each other every day. Every single day. And you're coming there after practice. If you're on sports, if you're in a club, you're dealing with homework, you're dealing with home issues, you're dealing with a whole bunch. So that just bonds you automatically. And then having these 3 nights where you're depending on each other to remember everything. And just depending on each other to back each other up. So that like really picked me up. And then that just literally changed after that. And then I just literally was like, so this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. Yeah. I can't do anything else. And it was annoying because I was like, bitch, you already knew that this was what you were going to do in the first place, but you just let all this stuff cloud your brain. And it's weird. And now just this process of doing my own stuff is so weird. Because it's just like, I never thought at all.
Right.
That one, I would have I would be doing a podcast talking to people. Like, one, like, who would have thought? My crazy self having a podcast. And then me having an album, or an EP coming out. Yeah. Like, who would have thought? Like, and then me actually finding out that, okay, so those differences, yes, they were partly true. Yes, you were attracted to guys. Yes, that was a part of you. But the other part was you were still attracted to girls as well. You just didn't cater. Yeah. It was just about the energy level. Like, it wasn't a big deal. You just made it a big deal because everybody else made it a big deal. But now you're happier because you know who you are finally. You have a little piece of knowing that you know who you are, so people can tell you what you think. So, just for those people out here not feeling like that they have to rush to figure it out, because again, I'm still figuring it out. Like,
and you're still
you're gonna keep continuing to figure it out as you get older. So don't ever feel like you have to stay a certain way, because we're all trying to grow as it goes along. I know this was a little bit like a downer, but I just wanted to talk about it because I feel like it's important for people like our age to speak on it, because we're seeing it from more older people finally opening up about it, but I feel like it needs to be shown that people in our age group go through it and can talk to each other about it. Because I feel like there needs to be open communication between everybody. Yeah. So check on your friends that seem like they're strong, because that was me.
Mm-hmm.
I would smile on your face, laugh and
right.
joke,
Same.
and just.
You would have never known.
And you would never know. You would be like, oh, that's fine. He's just joking around. He's just making a crude joke.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really serious, but really, like, I was about to go out.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
right.
It wasn't. It's like I can laugh about it now, but it wasn't a funny situation.
Mm-hmm.
But that just shows how much work I had to do to
mm-hmm.
get out of it.
Yeah.
But it's going to take time. Just find friends, and then I would adopt what Tiani was talking about when she was talking about writing in a journal, because that helps.
Mm-hmm.
Me writing songs helped. Me writing poetry
mm-hmm.
helped a lot, just to get, because it helps to get to write stuff down,
mm-hmm.
to get it all out. Because if you just keep it inside, it's just gonna fester and fester until you explode. Like how I was exploding in high school. It's not something that I would wish on anybody, because there's a lot of things that. Because to be honest, when I look back, I don't say I regret it because it was a learning experience. Mm-hmm. But imagine if I was on choir and did musical earlier. Imagine where I would be now. Just on the development for what I could be doing. Like I could possibly be on like a second album by now, or have a career already that's successful. But
in good timing.
And it all worked out at the end of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, don't rush yourself. Take time to be around people that actually care about you. Don't have yes men around you. Quite frankly, I can't stand it. Everybody that's my friend knows I'm never going to lie to you. Mm-hmm. Don't ask me nothing if you don't want an honest opinion, because I'm going to give it to you and I expect the same.
Mm-hmm.
And just because you're being honest doesn't mean you have to be cruel with it, but be honest about it. Because again, you being a friend, you're not going to be crude and cruel to somebody that you're actually friends with. Mm-hmm. You're just going to say it a little bit more bluntly.
Yeah.
And you have to try to read the room and read the relationship before you actually say certain things. But again, let's just bring it up to something brighter. So let's just talk. So just give everybody your information about how your new show again. Then the album, where they can find it, and we'll end it after that.
Okay. So, again, guys, my show is coming up this Saturday, November 3rd, at the Wyndham Hotel in Mount Laurel. Doors open at 6:45. Show starts at 7:30, and tickets are $20. You do not have to be 21 or older to get into the building, but you have to be 21 or older to drink at the bar. But yes, come out, have a great time. Real music, live music. It's going to be dope. And you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at the Ciani Abri. That is TheCianiAbri. And my album, The Bridge to Alchemy, is out on all media outlets, streaming outlets, Tidal, Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, all that good stuff. So please go support. I love support. I give support. So, it's just a mutual thing. I really appreciate it. I put a lot of effort and time and, just passion into what I do. And I want to share that with the world. So let me know your feedback and follow me.
Please follow her. So you guys know pretty much where to find me. I'm at Millennial Tones on Instagram. And also, since I am starting to branch out, so my new artist name is Sonae. Mm-hmm. So check out at Sonae on Instagram. I have a Twitter at Sonae. It's a 0 in for those just because somebody took it, so I had to try to be creative with it, so I couldn't keep it as simple as I wanted. Then I have a Facebook page, which is Sonae as well, so check that out. I'll put it all in the description for when this podcast is done. But I'm going to give you guys some updates. Just follow that. Follow me there. You guys will see me do some covers, some clips of me in the studio, and some other stuff. So that's just an update for that. I'm still trying to figure out. It's a 5-song EP, so it's not gonna be long. But it's just gonna be pretty much about my life, trying to figure it out. Some situations such as which I could take back, but I learned a lesson from. So it's just pretty much about life. But check me out on there, and I'll keep giving you guys updates on this podcast. Probably because this is going to be bi-weekly still, so because I have a busy schedule. But just stay tuned because you'll get more of a good gauge of what's going on throughout the album. But again, thank you guys for listening. Thank you, Siani, for being here. It was great seeing you and talking to you again. It's
been so long.
It's literally been like, I feel like 4 years.
Yeah.
4 years of not seeing you at all.
I know.
And then, like, just the trajectory of, like, how it all started and just the fact that we're still friends is a testament of how much we were both friends.
It's just always going to be that connection, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But thanks again for listening, and I'll see you guys in we'll figure it out. I'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.